Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Regina's World. If you don't know who I am Regina. And on this channel, we do story time, reviews of Married at First Sight, and my adventures of um, what I do on the weekend here in Las Vegas. This video was inspired by, I guess you could say it's kind of a story time, but it's kind of like a reaction to this video right here. You know, if you've seen this video, I'm just put a clip of it, or like the photo here, so you guys know who I'm talking about, what I'm talking about. But if you haven't noted that viral video of a caregiver going spitting, the white lady spitting on a black caregiver, and this was inspired from that video. Because a lot of people who knows me knows I have been in healthcare medicine for a very long time. Since I was 17 years old, I started as a PCA, moved up to a CNA, and I was a CNA for a very, very long time. I was a CNA for about 11 years, and I was a damn good CNA. You know, and I didn't really, I actually loved my job and enjoyed my job. But what she experienced is nothing new. You know, it's nothing new. So, um, I was more angry with her than I was the lady, even though what the lady did was disrespectful. And there's no, there's no, you can't justify that, because you all know when they become a certain age, they become Alzheimer's. If you don't know, then their mentality goes back to what they first know. And if they was racist before Alzheimer's, they're going to be racist during Alzheimer's. After they're going to be racist. It's going to come back to the forefront. And trust me, I've had my full share. I have walked into rooms and a Alzheimer's person in their beds. The first thing comes out of their mouth is, "Get that nigger out of here." So, I mean, you literally have to have tough skin being a black person in medicine. You just have to. It's like we are the lowest of the lowest on the totem pole after whites. It's Filipinos, Asians, Filipinos, white people is second, black people is last. It's like we have to work 10 times harder to prove that we're 10 times better, doing the same exact job as our white and Filipino counterparts. It's sad, but it's the world we live in, being in medicine. It is true. And I'm going to talk about my last job in a moment, so you have an idea of what the heck I'm talking about. I'm like, but on on the caregiver side, she was completely wrong. She was wrong. There was no way to justify her putting that lady on camera and putting it on the internet. Like, there's no way to justify that. You have broken so many violations, HIPPA rules, HIPPA's everything. You have probably violated the company's policy. You have lost your life. If you was a licensed caregiver, like as a CNA, you have immediately lost your license up on that video in the internet. That video should not have went past the agency or the family's eyes only. And even then, you very treading on thin lines, video recording them then. Well, if the company and the family didn't request you to do that, you're treading on thin lines in the first place, because you cannot record them. It's against HIPAA violation. HIPAA is the biggest thing in medicine. You cannot violate someone's privacy. And that was a huge violation of someone's privacy. Whether she was spitting on you or not, we did not supposed to see that. We did not supposed to see that. Now, you, my friend, whoever her this lady name is, probably have now lost her job, lost her license, probably gonna be in a damn lawsuit. And if you are just a caregiver, you know what I mean, you're not getting paid that much. Like, if you're a caregivers in agencies, usually, I'm a caregiver now because I don't have my CNA license no more. I moved past that, but I'm a caregiver still. So I'm at the mercy of whatever the agency pays me. And I'm going to be honest, I don't get paid a lot. I only get paid $10 an hour as a caregiver. But I don't fight that. But because if you're a CNA, then you can charge more. They're required to charge you more because you're doing the same job, but you're licensed. So they have to pay you as a licensed caregiver. So now, but you if a private pay, she may have been a private pay, been with the family for a long time or whatever, but she can actually charge more if she's a private pay. An individual, she's not going through a company. If they hired her individually off of, a line, care.com, Craigslist, or whatever, she found them, they found her, she can charge whatever she wants. But by just looking at her, not trying to be mean or anything, it doesn't look like she's getting paid a lot of money. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like she's getting paid a lot of money. And she may need that job, but she don't need the abuse. So there were so many ways that she could have diffused that situation. Like, if you're working in a nursing home, you don't really have an option of, what hall they put you on. They put you on a hall, and usually that hall is your hall. So every time you come in, you look at your assignment. They really don't change your assignment because you get used to the patients, and the residents get used to you. They used to seeing your face. They know what time you're coming in. They don't like to change that because you are dealing with Alzheimer's patients, and they don't like to confuse them or whatever, interrupt their flow. So they know who's going to come in at what time. They know who to expect, etc., etc., etc. So you don't usually have a choice in a nursing home what hall that you're placed on. Caregiving, when you do an agency, is completely different. You have an option. And that's what blew my mind. You have an option. I have been plenty of places, even with the nursing home that the agency that I work for now, have plenty of options. You mean if I receive a patient that I don't like, if I go to them and I don't vibe with that client or the family, or they don't like me or whatever the case is, you have that option to call the agency and say, I don't want to go there anymore. Replace me. That's what happened on that video. I wouldn't have went back there ever. The moment she spit on me the first time, you think I would have been back there a second? Because you knew she's racist. If there's something that you cannot handle, or you don't know, you don't have to deal with that abuse. You can always get another resident. You can always get another patient. You don't have to sit here and take that. And she only did it because you're black. You could easily say, agency, I don't want to work here anymore. Replace me. Now, if you're private pay, now that's something you need to figure out with you and that family members, with you and the person's family. Do you want to continue to work there? Do you want to be a part of that? Or find somebody else and, I quit. Because she's pulling a knife on me. And I didn't see the whole video until I actually watched another video of somebody talking about it. And then it was like 9 minutes. I just saw the little clip of her getting spit on Hollywood Unlocked. And I was appalled. But I saw another video of the whole 9 minutes, and I was like, she pulled a knife on the lady? And you still right there? So any future caregivers who are looking at this video, who don't know their rights or don't know what they can or cannot do in a situation like that, you don't have to take that mess. Especially if you are a caregiver with an agency. You report stuff like that. If a person is putting a knife on you, you tell them immediately. That is abuse. That is abuse on you. Because if you react to something like that, then guess what? It's on you. You're going to jail. You're losing your job. You're losing your license for elder abuse. So whatever. Why accept that kind of stuff when you don't have to in an agency? Just call them and tell them to replace you. You don't want to go back there. But she was willingly taking this stuff. So I have so many questions for her if I was able to talk to her. Like, what was you doing? Why are you still there? Like, I don't get it. But okay. But my experience, as I said, I've been in medicine for a very long time. So I've had different kind of experiences for a very, very, very long time. In a nursing home. Well, I'm going to get there in a moment. In home health. Even out here in Vegas, this is where I live. This is where I do home health on the weekends all the time. So I've had residents through my agency. Because I'm black, I've had families who only want black caregivers. And they will send me out to these families because I'm black. And they want somebody to look like them. So I get when white families only want white caregivers because they want somebody to look like them. I get the comfortability level. And I've seen with my own eyes this has happened to me out here in Vegas. I've been sent to homes in Summerlin. The family opens the door, look at me and say, no, no thanks, and slam it in my face. I have had that happen to me. I have had residents call me niggas. I have had residents be rude and disrespectful or don't want me touching them, and you got to change their diaper, and you over there trying to do them a favor, trying to take care of them because they can't do it themselves. They don't want you touching them. Why? Because you're black. They lock their legs together, making it hard for you to do their job. You have to transfer them. They don't want to cooperate because what? You're black. But when a white counterpart come in, they're like, oh, okay, let me help you out. Let me do this. Let me do that. Why? Because they're white. So I've had it all. And my last job, I hated that bitch. I was so happy when I started because I used to work at Sunrise. I'm calling this place out. I used to work at Sunrise Assisted Living in Henderson. Sunrise is a big assisted living. They probably have one in every state. And I got hired here in the one in Vegas, like last year, 2 years ago, or 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. I was working there. And blame races at this place. Okay, when you first start working here, you notice it. The first thing you notice, all the black people work with a night shift overnight. Why? Because they don't want nobody to see the black people. So they put them on night shift. All the family's gone. All the residents are asleep. So where they go? On a night shift. So that's where I was working at, on a night shift. Number one. Number two, it was like levels to this thing. Filipinos was in the morning. Filipinos worked in the morning from the 6 to 2. The whites worked from the 2 to 10. Why? Because that's when the family comes. That's when all the people are there. The family is sitting with the residents. They want to see, certain kind of caregivers there. And that Sunrise is self-pay. They're not through Medicaid. So these are rich families and things like that. So when they come in there, they want to see a certain quality of people, not a whole black staff. And it's very sad. We got the same education as the whites and the Filipino. We do the same job, but yet we're looked at like we're pieces of crap. And we know how to wipe ass and take showers and put their clothes on just the same way as everybody else. But we got to work just as harder and show them we're better just because we're black. Like we cannot do this job. Like we did not go to the same schools as them. And we did not just get the same education. We did not pay the same amount of money as they paid to go and to get the same education. It's amazing. It is amazing. But this is what we got to deal with. So at Sunrise, that was something else over there. I had to deal with residents I had this one, I couldn't stand this racist ass lady. If Tani see this video, she knows because me and her used to work on the same shift. She had to come in there plenty of time and help me with this lady. She used to scream to the top of her fucking lungs anytime a black person walked through her door. I mean, she used to fight, kick, punch, everything. I don't think she never spit, but she tried to do everything else, pull my hair, everything else. Luckily, I'm pretty much a pretty calm person, so I know the state and why they're doing and what they're doing. I don't just ignore that stuff. I'm like, look, I call somebody in there to assist me. Let's get this shit done. Let her scream. Let's do this. She's trying to claw me and everything else. She had done the most. That little stuff didn't bother me at any point. Doing this job for so many years, I don't even care anymore. Do what you gotta do. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I need to change your funky ass diaper. And change your fucking ass sheet. Wash your motherfucking sheets because you done pissed and shit everywhere. But you want to scream and holler because I'm black. Oh, I had to deal with it all. I had to deal with it all. So I've seen it over the years, but it's hard. It's hard when it comes from the employees itself, because the Filipinos who used to come in like in the 6 a.m. shift, I used to get into it with them so much. And what pissed me off the most, I was supposed to be the night shift supervisor. I was naturally supposed to be the night shift supervisor, right? And I was guaranteed promised the job. And then I'm taking on the role of all the responsibilities as the night shift supervisor, the whole nine. I'm getting the phone calls. I'm dealing with all the issues. I'm sitting in meetings with the supervisor in the morning and the other supervisor. I'm taking on all the issues and the problems as the supervisor. I'm doing the supervisor job. But they didn't want me to be a supervisor so bad. Why? Because I'm black. And they hated my guts because I didn't take their shit. I didn't take their disrespect. I got into it with everybody up there all the time because of my fucking mouth, and you wasn't gonna disrespect me and my crew like we was pieces of shit. The morning supervisor she didn't have to be to work until 6. She used to come in at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning just to see what the night shift is doing, honey. To come in there and complain about whatever. And I was so sick of her. I was like, look, this is harassment. This is harassment. I used to sit in the meetings with like, this is harassment. Like, I was so sick of them. I was actually glad that they fired my ass. And I'm gonna tell you why they fired me. Because they found me because they didn't have a reason prior to fire me, right? Oh, because they fired everybody on my night shift. My entire crew got rid of them all except me. Except me. They got rid of them all. Why? Because the morning shift supervisor kept fucking with the night crew. And every time when I wasn't there, she would say something or do something or whatever. And she said something to them when I wasn't there. Then I went to the other supervisor and told her what she said. And then because they said they spreading gossip, instead of correcting your morning supervisor, you talking about they spreading gossip. That we all walked in together. They separated us all, sent me upstairs. I had a whole new crew upstairs. A whole new crew, and fired everybody on the night shift. Sunrise was a piece of shit. There was a piece of shit. On me, there was a piece of shit. I hated Sunrise. And then I was like, I said, okay, I'm the supervisor. No. So what they did, they hired a Filipino. Now the other supervisor told me, okay, get ready. We're finna we're finna train you as the supervisor for down here, blah, blah, blah. The other supervisor had a whole other thing going on. Hired a Filipino. Put her to supervisor. She was only there for like a week. Bam, she's a supervisor. What? I've been here for almost 2 fucking years. Busting my ass, did with all y'all shit. And in a week, you hired this bitch and put her as a supervisor? Oh, I had my issues. I hated that bitch after that. We had to sit in the meeting. She was like, why do you hate me? I don't hate you. I don't hate you. I hated what this bitch ass job just did. You just taking the gut of it. Just don't speak to me, you Filipino bitch. That's just how I feel. That's how I felt. So what she did, she set my ass up. Because usually, night shift crew hate each other's back. You get tired of shit after night shift. You do. You do your job. My job used to be done like a motherfucker. Because I'm a perfectionist like that. I make sure my job is done. Right? But in the morning, 5 a.m., I'm up and I'm doing my last round. That's the point. You do your last round. Did my last round. This bitch set me up. I fell asleep. I didn't even know I fell asleep. I sat in the chair, was watching Martin, passed out. She called the supervisor. Didn't warn me, did nothing. Supervisor came and tapped me and said, I need to see you after your last round. Suspended my ass on the spot. They was waiting on me to fuck up. And they had their moment to that I fucked up. They had fucked up. I was hurt for a minute that they fired me. But then I said, you know what? I was so sick of Sunrise in the fucking first place and all that racist bullshit. I'm like, you know what? Fine. It is okay. Got enough job like that. Working what I do now. I'm like, but I had made up in my mind I was really done. I was really done working at a nursing home or hospital or any shit like that because I just didn't want to deal with that crap. You know what I mean? So this video was inspired by, that lady being spit on. You deal with that kind of stuff. You have to have a certain kind of patience and a certain kind of understanding when you are in medicine. You have to. And that was not acceptable for this lady to record this lady and put it on the internet. Like that is not okay. Like, it's not okay. I'm like, so if any future caregivers or CNA out there who wants to do this job, and you're black, you're my color, you're African American descent, just know you're going to come into some roadblocks in your career. But that's normal. We all experience it. We all go through it, you know. But if that is what you want to do, if you want to be a nurse, if you want to be an LPN, if you want to be a CNA, if that is your goal, have tough. You gotta have tough skin to be in this business, especially depending on where you live. And if you live in a city where there is all predominantly blacks, you're fine. Like St. Louis, Chicago, Illinois, the Midwest, the South, those places are predominantly black. I'm like, so you're not so much going to be scrutinized because you're working with your own kind. But if you're on the West Coast, sort of, like the West Coast, like myself, or the North, or, I don't know, Montana or something, where you got to deal with other races, you got to work with other races. Just know you're gonna come into that kind of situation. But she was wrong for that. As a caregiver myself, she was dead wrong for that. She violated some huge laws, and if she's not fired yet, she damn sure will be. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick rant, and I just wanted to share my experience because that video brought it on. So if you like, comment, share, and subscribe to this video and my channel, please right down below, and follow me on my social media, Keisha for Reese Robinson on Sleepless on Facebook and Sleepless in LVNB on Instagram. All right. Catch you on the next one. Bye.